recommend you mute certain sections?
You don't need the headphones now if you don't want.
Yeah. Do they recommend you take it down? Or do they recommend you mute certain sections?
They recommend that I mute certain sections. But that's such a hassle.
So I'll tell you this. It is better to, as stupid as this sounds, whenever there's music playing, just to continue to talk over it.
Yeah.
As long as it's like, I don't want to say barely audible, but not anything over 5 seconds. That's where, so like, if we ever are silent, let's keep it like no more than 5 seconds. So Rick Beato, he's been super big on that because he's such a huge creator. He's been getting like the pettiest side of fucking YouTube.
Wait, is that the older gray dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
well, he's been getting hit hard recently.
The thing is, and what sucks is like a lot of their stuff. Did you hear? I'm not sure if you heard, but Jared Dines has been getting hit. So they had him on a copyright for 3 years. It wasn't even like a lawsuit. It was like they withheld his funds from him.
Yeah.
So then they were like, oh hey, yeah, we were wrong about this. You can release your video now. But they had kept all his money, all his residuals
for all those years.
Yeah. So it's like, well, you guys kept my money, and you guys should have to pay that back if you guys were wrong. So yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2. Boom, dude. That's a countdown.
Amen.
Dude, no, that yeah, that stuff going on with him and that copyright issue, it's pretty concerning.
I think what's wild about like the copyright issues is the fact that like I think that Rick talks about, because he's like, he knows a lot of musicians on the music scene in Hollywood and yada yada yada, and so he's had like guests on his channel. But hey, by the way, do you know like I've been copywritten for writing your songs, and obviously it's not the artist that he knows, like it's the record label.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize that, like, you know,
artists will get copyrighted too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sharing their own songs.
Yeah, and it's like, how does this even happen? And a lot of it's just being, you know, the money hungry people up in Hollywood. But here's what's wild about it is what a lot of people don't know is that like your favorite artist that's putting out your favorite song doesn't even own X amount of like percentage of this song. So a lot of it goes back to like the companies. That's kind of, and I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I'm not hating on Taylor Swift. So all the Swifties don't hate me for this. But like, shout out to Taylor Swift, because she's one of the very few artists that actually owns her catalog, which doesn't sound like much. To be sole proprietor to your own music is like a very, very hard thing to obtain.
It's happening more and more now.
Oh yeah, well, because a lot of people are realizing, oh, if I write this big old hit for 20 years, I won't own the rights to this song, or I have to pay out so much money to own the rights to this song. So it's just like, and a lot of stuff you see with these copyright infringements is like, they're fans. They're not people going out saying, oh, hey, I own the rights to this song. Hey, I'm playing this for my purpose. So no, it's just like, hey, here's this song, and here's, you know, this guitar part, or here's the breakdown of the production of this song. So to get copywritten on just like promoting, you know, I really feel like you're shutting down fans from that point of view.
Yeah, if anything, I'm trying to grow record sales for this guy by talking about and playing his songs. And nobody's going to come to my video as the sole source of the music to listen to it, you know?
Again, it's
they're just going to go to the actual song.
It's free publicity the way I see it. Hey, we're promoting, you know, I think for them it's like, well, you're not saying where the record comes from. Yeah, but like, I mean, I think we need to go that into detail about the stuff. What I found fascinating is that, like, again, Rick Beato, who's a huge YouTuber, shout out Rick and everything you're fighting for, all these copyright, you know, claims. I think he's one of the biggest, not biggest names, but biggest YouTubers who's getting hit with all these copyright infringements. And all of them are educational purposes. You know, it would be a difference if they were shaming this for like 2 years. He didn't even want to name what record label it is. Warner Brothers, apparently, who are like, oh no, we heard our song, we want that.
I would have outed him right away.
Oh, dude,
like,
well, I think he's
WB's giving me so many issues.
He's trying to be civil with him, but now it's like, not that his income matters to me, but like, you know, a lot of stuff he puts out, he doesn't even get paid for. So all these videos with like millions of views are just...
It's just for fun.
Just for, again, educational purposes, you know? I think some of my favorite feeds of his are like, you know, top 5 intro guitar riffs, top 5, you know, this or that. You're promoting this artist. So, and I think a lot of people not realize that it's the big corporate people shutting them down, or just even small channels like yourself, you know, get copyrighted, and all you're trying to do is promote these guys. But the guys on Big Switch are like, nope. If you're making a dime, we want 9 cents of that. It's just like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop playing music actually on YouTube. It's probably gonna have to be behind a paywall.
And that's what
like
sucks.
a private room, so I won't get copyrighted.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
and it's all because it's not because they're saying, oh, we don't like that you're sharing our music. It's, oh, you're having a revenue off of this, and it's like, buddy, we were
But
from Northeast
that's not what
Ohio.
I'm making the revenue from. I'm making the revenue from the people coming to listen to me talk about the music,
Exactly.
and not from the music. Not just straight from the music.
Well, and that's why I think you have like a lot of people now, which I find to be super duper smart and helpful, of the artists that are going solo. You know, people that do like their own independent labels. It's there's no fighting with a record label. So artists like, you know, I believe Russ,
Jesse Wells.
Yeah. You have all those guys who are doing literally their own thing. So if for whatever reason a fan wants to say whatever they want about the artist or, you know, play their music, there's no stopping it.
Yeah.
And I just think it's crazy that people who are trying to, I don't know, even like older records, you know, Rick Beato is really big on a lot of the older stuff. I mean, like the production of things. So to pay like his homage on the production of all that stuff, to be told you can do that, but don't make any money off it. And if you do, we're taking it from you.
Yeah.
So it's almost like discouraging in a sense to like, why even put this product out there if I'm going to get, you know, the dimes taken from me. Granted, I know he does it for more than just the money, but it's like there are people out there who try to live off of that content, who try to live off of, you know, the promotion of music, and it's a wild thing, man. That's why when I see certain artists going solo or like separating themselves from their company, because I think they found out the bittersweet side of like, you know.
Yeah, good for them.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
It's gotta suck to be like, you know, hey man, your band doesn't allow us to use their music. Like, it's not our band, I promise you. It's the record labels. So that's the downside of getting a contract or getting a big deal. Is like, oh, you might be making a really huge thing, but like all the smaller sides that your fans appreciate or the ones that want to promote what you do, you know, that's what platforms like TikTok and Facebook. It's kind of weird. Like TikTok, I think is a bit more friendly with copyright, seeing as it's promotion and advertisement and revenue. So they, if you copyrighted,
people at least still see it on there.
Oh yeah,
it's not like totally blocked.
Oh yeah, can you imagine if they try to copyright TikTok as heavy as they do YouTube? Half of TikTok's content creation would be gone. That's what a lot of it is. But I think that's where they see like, well, if I can make more money off of like 10 seconds of my song compared to someone spending an hour discussing an album, I guess I'll just have to take that 10 seconds from, you know, from TikTok or whatever. So
somebody's got to discuss that album though.
Oh yeah. It's just super weird. But that's why like guys like us, a dashingly handsome gentleman and myself, are here to give you guys the what's up with all the new music, old music, and everything in between.
Yeah. And speaking of shitty labels, dude, do you have a favorite label?
If I'm honest, not necessarily, because I think at this point in time, all of these smaller labels have now been bought out by these larger labels.
Yeah.
So like Universal wasn't always as big as it was, but now Universal is like one of the hugest. Universal, Warner Brothers. I don't doubt there's other big ones out there. Oh, Sony. All of them have been buying all the smaller labels. So like, even if you're signed to a smaller label, you're still somewhat under the microscope of all these bigger labels.
Is Easy Eye its own thing? Easy Eye Sound?
I don't know. Who's on their label?
That's like Marcus King, the Black Keys, I believe the Arctic Monkeys.
See, if I'm honest, I think those may not be as aggressive labels.
That's like the next step towards Sony, right?
See, and I think what sucks about that is, and obviously none of us know anyone's contract, but like, hopefully that there's still some honest, genuine labels. Like back in the day when someone got a record label, chances are that label was literally probably like a guy and his two buddies who happened to be able to front the money to put out a record.
Yeah.
They just wanted to promote you guys. But now labels are like,
they provide you a place to make the music and maybe somebody to help if you don't already have somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
But then they own the rights to every piece of music that you wrote for providing a place to record.
But I also don't even think that do the record labels deserve their cut? Absolutely, because they do supply a nice front for whatever they're providing. But nowadays, dude, like if you own a record, like they almost, if they're signing you, they see enough potential. They see enough money or potential in you to milk X amount of dollars out of you. So like for a lot of records, it's like, all right, fine, we'll sign you this.
They do to them in every aspect.
Oh,
from
yeah.
touring to just regular sales.
Oh, dude, the amount that goes into touring is ridiculous. So I don't know what artist it was, but he talked about like, so when a label loans you money or when they put you on for a tour, there's like a premium that you have to spend. So rather than you kind of just pay as you go or paying for like what you feel is the necessity, you have to spend like $10,000 a month. So you'll be spending like $2,000 a month on toiletries, $5,000 a month on food and catering and stuff like that. All stuff you don't need, but they're like, well, these are the things that we have to spend in order to keep what we're getting out of you worth it.
Yeah.
So to me, I just feel like that stuff puts a lot of pressure on an artist. Like I feel like I always thought that an artist would put together a record, put together their band, say, hey guys, let's put this out. Boom. Now it's almost like, you put out a gold record and Hollywood sees it. They're like, all right, sweet. So when's the next one? It's like, I'm only human. I'm not a factor. I can't put out hit record after hit record. So to me, I feel like not only does it suck to be onto a label, it's also a lot of pressure to like, I did a good thing, but now they want a great thing. Now what happens when I produce that great thing? It's just like, you're almost like squeezing an artist until they run dry. And I think that's what kind of becomes overwhelming to be an artist. So like all these genuine artists that people complain that they change their sound or they do this or that, it's kind of like it's almost on the contract that they have to, So it really, really sucks. I think now the big suits that made some of our favorite artists are also ruining a lot of our favorite artists long term, all for money,
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Metallica's first record, Kill 'Em All, they went under Blade Records, I believe was the name of the company. It was a dude and his wife who owned a record shop. That again, they just had the money to fund Metallica's first tour, their first album, and I don't know what the relationship was, but that's just what it was about. Someone who had an opportunity to help the next batch of people to do something cool. And nowadays, it's like, oh, if you want this gold record, sell us half your life, and it sucks because I can't imagine being these big artists doing all these shows, like to play all these big shows and everything travel, yada yada yada. There's so much toll that takes on an artist as is, and now you have the big guys saying,
How has that been for you? All the traveling, because you've had a pretty busy summer, right?
Traveling for me has been fun. I think being a small fish in the pond is kind of dope. Like I'm in a position to where like people are willing to reach out and want to work with me, but it's also I'm not anything that like. For me, I lucked up. I don't make buku bucks with music, but I'm fortunate enough to where like if I play out of town, I make just enough to get me enough gas to make it to that show, play that show, and make it back home without me breaking the bank or spending the last dime I had. So I'm fortunate in that aspect.
Oh, that's how they all start.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But there are a lot of people that, like, if I wanted to do, let's say for whatever reason, I wanted to hit 3 states, even if I did 3 shows in 3 states, there's a matter of hoping some places they want you to sell tickets. Hopefully you make selling tickets to make that show. So not only do I travel to this town that I don't know how much I'm making, I hope I have enough to get me through the night, cover where I stay, and then, so if I didn't sell no tickets for this show, let's hope the next show pays a little something because this last show didn't. So
yeah,
I'm fortunate enough to say that I haven't had those times where like I was in the negative from playing somewhere. And that's what I'm trying to kind of avoid because like it's super easy to kind of do that. Like I do believe in people having to go the extra mile. The people that sleep in their vans because they're spending 3 days in the city, they don't know where they're at. All those things. I'm fortunate that like a lot of my stuff's like on a day-to-day basis. That most of my stuff's like in town. If it's out of town, it kind of gets to the point where like me going out there, I'm not saying it's going to make me a bunch of money, but I break even if nothing else. I'm knock on wood. I've never hit the negative trying to do a show. Are there times where ticket sales haven't been as good as they could have been? Absolutely, but it's not really up to me how ticket sales go. When you're on a bill, I've been on bills where like there's several bands on a bill, and 2 out of 4 bands won't promote it. So it's just like we're all of our names are attached to this. So 2 bands are really really pushing it. We can get our friends and family in, but if no one else is, it almost defeats the purpose of all of us being together in this unified thing. So
yeah,
there's definitely its ups and downs. Playing live, like I play all these cool shows, and on paper it looks cool, but like,
you have a favorite venue?
So far, I gotta say probably I would definitely West Side Bowl. West
Bowl?
Side Bowl is probably one of the dopest. Shout out to Casey, the sound guy. You are absolutely amazing. I've had him 2 out of the 3 times I've played, and he is muy bueno, senor. Shout out to Nate for what I love about West Side Bowl isn't one of those venues that has to have like very polished, very square, cookie cutter bands and acts. Like no, they hired the roughest, the rawest, some of the sloppiest bands at times, but that's what makes it real.
Is that what makes a good venue a good venue?
It depends. If you take
but
it
the
back,
atmosphere there is pretty unmatched.
It's beautiful to me. I think because it's local, they support. From what I've noticed, when they have like bigger acts come in, they'll have local acts be the openers. So I think that's super duper dope for a lot of these guys. Like for K-Von and the Vibes, one of our first big shows was there earlier this year. And I met so many awesome bands in that process. What West Side Bowl just has its own lore of its own. It's not it's like the coolest mainstream underground place ever. Because it's not, again, this super fancy bar where everything's like super proper and neat. Like, no, dude, it's a bit rough, but I think that's what makes a good venue. It's real. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about the perfections of everything. It's the imperfections, if nothing else, that I think are super duper dope.
Yeah, I like that one place where we went and saw Eddie's band. That place on
Cedars
Salt
West End, dude.
Yeah,
Downtown.
Cedars.
Well, not downtown Youngstown, but west side of Youngstown. That's another unique venue. I think
Very old.
Oh, for sure. I think when people talk about like venues and gigs and stuff like that, like, you know, you think like the cool happening bar in town. Like, honestly, it's these like. Can I swear on here?
Yeah, sure.
It's some of these like shittier dive bars that I think are so cool because like there's some places where it's almost like I don't feel cool enough to even be here right now. So when you go to a place like Cedars is like welcome to anybody, and it's super. They have like vinyl nights there. They have like swing dancer nights. Like so, it's a place that accommodates to this cool appeal besides just like rock and roll and a couple cold beers. So that's one of my favorite bars for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool in that back room. It's really cool too to just kind of get away from it.
Well, it's nice that they have this nice little patio spot. So it's like if you don't want to hear the bands right then and there, you can just go out back, relax. And again, that's another bar that really takes in bands that like I feel like other bars are just like no thank you because it's not super popular or the gimmick or trend they're trying to sell just isn't working. And I'm very fortunate to play all the places that I've played, all the places that have had me back. It's just been a super dope experience.
How was playing Packard?
Packard was honestly really, really dope. For one, huge place. It says like 2,500 people, and no, we did not get 2,500 people in that room. I wish.
You'll get there.
Oh, someday. But it was still a very like crowded place. For me, for who I got to play with Dennis Drummond, who's from Warren, Ohio, or I believe the area. He was on The Voice. Him and I joined Ronald McKenzie, who brought me along for the show, and we played for. The Wolfstock. They have an annual gig, so shout out to all the guys at Wolfstock. It's an amazing foundation for who get dogs spayed and neutered every year. Super duper dope. If you have the opportunity, please check those guys out. It was just an amazing. We opened up for the Fantastic Cats. I'd never heard of those guys before, never seen them.
How were they?
They were awesome. What's super cool about them is that they're a jam band. So like every couple of songs, everybody switches instruments. They got the crowd going, and that's the cool part about music. If you put the money. The glitz and glam aside, like it's about the relationships you make. West Side Bowl, if you ask anybody about Doorman Dave, if you're a true West Side Bowler, you'll know who Doorman Dave is because he's just one of those guys that like you come to know and love, and that's what it's really all about. The people you get to meet, the bands, the venue, the door guy, the bartender. Yeah. And it's kind of that. Those are the things I think really make a band. Some people are just there for the money and to go home. That's fine. That's dandy. Everyone has their own motive. I'm there for the people. I'm there for, the other bands, there's that support. I got to open up for the Clarks this year. That was really cool. We played at the Ribs and Rock Fest.
Yeah, the Clarks are pretty cool. I've heard some of their stuff.
Live music, it sucks, man. It's just not this big thing that it used to be. I feel like you can go anywhere on a Saturday night and hear live music anywhere. And it's still there, but I feel like you got to be either a really solid band or be a band lucky enough to have it where like the bar is really packed.
Yeah, and sometimes the genre that you're into just isn't playing around that night.
Oh, for sure.
Like West Side Bowl, sometimes they don't have rock in the basement or on the main stage.
Oh yeah. Well, to me, I look at it as like,
which is okay.
Well, no,
because I went and saw Tropodelic there, and they're definitely not rock or.
I met Tropodelic, but that's just it though. So in my opinion, I think Tropodelic's one of those bigger bands that like has a following.
Or they're definitely bigger than West Side.
Oh, well, the fact that they can come to West Side Bowl and people will know not only is this a dope venue, but this is a super dope band.
Yeah.
So there's opportunities like that. That's not only is West Side Bowl again accommodating to us weirdos, us to the different bands. They still support the bigger acts. There's still that love, the place that you can have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One thing that people don't realize about live music, and I'm saying this to all live musicians. That people think that you can come out with the dopest guitar, coolest gear, you can look as badass as you want. That does not mean the audience has to love you. There's so many bands that go out there and play for themselves to the audience. That's not what it's about. My biggest goal with the live bands is I don't care if there's one person in the room or 100 people in the room. I want to give my best because I hope that one day when I'm playing a stadium or a giant place, that the same energy I'm giving those 1,000 people, that one person that decided to show us support and love deserves that same energy.
Yeah.
And so there's some people like, oh, this crowd was terrible. Like, no, you didn't engage with the crowd enough. I do think that there's like that's a thing that some bands are not accountable for. Is that, oh, well, we're here, we showed up, we did our thing. Did you just play what you wanted to hear, or did you really try to work with the crowd? You know what I'm saying?
How do you work with the crowd, or make them engage more?
I do a few things. I do this thing called class participation. So class participation is meaning like in a song where I have the band breakdown and I have the audience clap with me. And if I notice all the claps aren't there, I'll let it go until everyone's on one page. You gotta you gotta try to do your best to let everyone know they exist. You know what I'm saying? I want the person from the back of the bar to the bartender to the bouncer to the person right up front. I want everyone to have a good time. You know, I make sure that whenever I go to a venue, that I do my best. I don't do it every show, but like we learn the bartenders' names, so that way there's no snapping your fingers, there's no clapping. Like, no, let's make sure that we're talking to our bartenders nice. They're taking care of us. We take care of them. And with the audience, it's if I can get an audience to clap back, you know, if you got one person clapping, the person next to them gonna clap. The person on their phone 5 seats away, now they're gonna clap. So that right there, I got everybody in unison. A bunch of strangers are on one beat, just to assure that we're all doing our thing, you know. And that's what it's all about. And I feel like, you know, when you're done with your set, it doesn't sound like much. Shout out the band that's coming up next. Hey, we're so and so. Give it up for the next band that's coming up tonight. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're showing that support. Because it was one thing to take all the energy and then bounce. Keep that energy going and make sure that the next band can get a little bit of that. So if for whatever reason they're not on their A game, they're not on their best, you can deliver a good energy, you know. That's one thing I wish there was more of.
Yeah, just keep
support.
it going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people look at it as competition. And I'll never look at the music as competition because another musician's eating steak and I'm eating ramen. Not a shame on them. Congratulations, dog. I hope you enjoy that steak. And hopefully when I get to that point, I can enjoy mine. Because there's cats out there that have got nothing on their plate. Musicians that are really trying that just can't get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So, no, it's always going to be nothing but love, always, from any band on the music scene. You know, to stay humble and stay hungry is something I think everyone should, like, mindfully be aware of. Just, you know, there's always going to be a band better than you. There's always going to be a band not doing as good as you. So it's kind of just the mindset of, like, I'm happy with where I am. I'm cool with this. So, what are some of your favorite live shows? 'Cause I know you're a big concert person. You've actually been to some of my favorite concerts that I wish I could have gone to. You see Marcus King, which I so wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, dude, it's so hard. I think my favorite I've been to was the Shinedown Godsmack tour. Whenever Godsmack first reappeared on the scene.
Somebody said Godsmack is just a tribal tattoo that you can hear, and I can't unsee. I can't unsee that for sure.
I think it's accurate, but I mean, I dig the music. It's cool.
Oh yeah,
and they're all very talented.
Oh yeah.
The drum off in that is insane, and they brought Shinedown on to play with them too, and that was very cool to see. But I guess they're going on tour again.
Shinedown or Godsmack?
Both.
I haven't. And
like together again.
I don't dislike Shinedown, but I'll tell you what, Shinedown used to be one of my mom's favorite bands. So when they came out with whatever album had Second Chance, that album was played consistently forever. I think they're a solid band. Godsmack, I got into them because they were on the Scorpion King soundtrack. So like those are bands I can say I grew up with and came to know and love. So it's sweet to see that there's some of our favorite bands going out live, and I know a lot of our favorite bands are probably like in their 50s, right, roughly about now in their life, and they're still out touring. They're still out pushing the live music thing.
Yeah.
What I don't doubt super hard for some of these bigger bands is, as famous as they are, to play somewhere in Cleveland or Pittsburgh, nice venue, but only get maybe half of the capacity of a place. I don't doubt that's probably nerve-wracking for them to be so big, if you will, and not have such a sponsors. Tickets are super duper expensive for everything, which kind of is like super discouraging for somebody who wants to see something.
So, I was up at the Record Connection the other day, and I was talking to Jeff about this very thing about ticket sales.
Oh yeah.
He goes, well, he was talking about ticket sales and how all these the sellers like Ticketmaster and Live Nation are complaining that they can't sell tickets. Well, it's not the audience's fault because they'd be there 100% if your
For sure.
tickets weren't $200 per ticket.
Well, not only that, then there's like the seating fee, the tax fee.
Insurance if you want it.
Oh yeah, because God forbid you don't get the goddamn ticket you know you paid for.
Yeah.
But no, there's just all these extra things that are like, there's a band called Lawrence. They're like a funk R&B type group, super dope band. The lead singer, Clyde Lawrence, he like went against Congress, like stood up in court and was like, listen, there's no reason why as a band we have to not only allow them to tax our tickets, take money from our ticket sales, take X amount of percentage from our merchandise sales.
Yeah.
So that's like the tough part again of being a live band is like expenses.
And most of your money comes from the merch.
Exactly. And so that's some of the stuff that in some cases, depending on who you are, that the labels can't touch. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that Lawrence, they might be on like a smaller label, nothing too crazy, but like, you know, he stood up against, you know, again the suits, the guys that are demanding all the money. Like, we're just a band trying to satisfy audiences, but also like if we can't make this product self-sufficient because everybody wants their cut and gives us nickels on the dollar, again, it's very discouraging for a band. So like, to see that like live music and all these big bands aren't all glitz and glam. Like, there's a struggle to it, but there's some artists that push through that because they know that like the fans want to hear this. We want to connect with the fans. So shout out to the band, to the bands that make tickets affordable as possible. But yeah, no, dude, it's these corporations that make it suck for us little people. Like, oh, I want to see my favorite band. All tickets are only $50. How are 2 tickets now $219 after taxes? It's just like, man, that's again super discouraging from seeing a band.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes that needs to happen in music, but I guess there's more important things that they're focusing on first. But
yeah, money. Oh, you got $1? Let me get half of that. It blows my mind because it's like, and that's how they pen these artists and sign this contract. Well, if you sign this contract, yeah, we'll front you $2 million, but $500,000 is going towards the record, the production, the yada yada yada. Oh, and also you have to pay that $2 million back after your next record sold. But after you make that next record, we also want 2 more out of you in 4 years. So it's like, man, you're loaning off your own money at the end of the day. And again, I think that I can't speak for myself because I haven't recorded yet, which I'm working on. But like, these are all the little things that take a toll on a smaller artist. So I can imagine what these larger artists are having to go through when they sign labels or get put on by this and that. It's just like, it sounds cool on paper, but like, you know, I think the moment you sign your, you know, name on that dotted line, you almost sign like a portion of your pride with that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've heard horror stories about like how bands were treated before, like in the golden era, like the Beatles and all that.
oh yeah.
They were treated poorly then. So it's a wonder why bands kept signing.
I think for a lot of people, it's the whole starving musician concept. Like, a lot of these guys will be 2-3 years in, again, sleeping in their vans, traveling from city to city, really doing their damnedest.
That's the only way out.
But yeah, in that capital, it really sucks because it only takes one person to toss you, you know, a little bit of something to reel you in, and now you're like this slave to the corporate system. When all you want to do is jam and make music and connect with the fans.
Yeah. Yeah, you just want to have fun.
I think there's somebody we should bring on about live concerts. Come on up, young man. The tree that started it all.
All right.
So speaking of live concerts,
Yeah, it's on.
speaking of live
This side's
concerts,
the front side. You'll see it back on the back side.
so I assume you've been on the planet around the sun a couple of times.
Quite a
So
few
you've been to a
times.
live concert too. Tell us about some of your favorite concerts.
Some of my favorite concerts going back many years. I would have to say Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd, Rush, of course, because I'm a drummer. Those would be some of my favorite.
So you've seen Rush live?
I've seen Rush at least a dozen times. Then I caught the
Jealous.
R40 tour, of course. And I was front row, right in front of Alex. So
Oh my
Where's
goodness.
your first friend? When was the first Rush concert?
for me,
Yeah.
I was 14 years old, and I'm trying to think of what tour it was. It was right around Moving Pictures. No, because that was earlier in the 70s. Which tour was it?
There's 2112.
No, it was later than that. It had to be
Fly by Night. Or is that way later?
It might have been Fly By Night. It was let's see, 13. So it was right around 82.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of what album was out in 82. I am not sure.
Hold on, we have
We have to
technology.
Google that one.
We have technology. We have technology.
But the reason why I went to that concert is because I was only 12 years old, and my older sister, I had to go so she wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
My mom's like, he's going with you. So that's how I got suckered in that. But that was my first concert ever.
Did
Hell
Chrissy
yeah.
enjoy it?
Dude, so wait, did you ever see?
Was Chrissy a fan of the concert since she had to go with you?
She was probably too messed up to even remember who she saw.
No.
She screamed up, "Play Free Bird." They're in the middle of Tom Sawyer.
Exactly.
No, you said you were a.
But that's really what got me into music.
Did you ever see Dead live?
I toured with the Dead after high school. Went from New York to Oregon and back.
As like a roadie?
No. As,
Oh,
as,
like
a,
you
as a hippie.
See, the thing is, that's
Exit
what I'm
stage
saying.
left.
Right there, Permanent Waves.
Oh, Permanent Waves. That's a good album. That would be a good tour to see.
Dude, I think just to see Rush in general would be dope because they've been through so many things.
I can't believe I missed them.
I think the fact that you can go, and again, this
Barely.
takes it back
Barely.
to where your time period was and where our time period is. The fact that you can go travel to see a band on a tour and
Right.
see them at all these different stadiums and everything, and
Right.
like to be a dedicated fan. You know, now that if you're a dedicated fan but you're broke, yeah, the best you can do is like, you know, check everything out online. So like,
Well,
what was that like?
Yeah.
Like what we were doing though, we didn't see every single show.
I got you. You just see as
we
many as you
were
could.
playing in drum circles. Jeremy, I don't know if you ever met Jeremy or not,
No.
but he was like a true hippie. So he's braiding hair for money. And
Hell
stuff
yeah,
we were
dude.
whittling crosses and soaking them in petroleum oil to get to the next show. That's how we sold stuff and made it down the road.
That's true drive and ambition right there. Like I love a band so much that I'm going to hustle to get the opportunity to see these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's that right there is dope.
And they had the good openers too. They had Sting opening for them, and just like some major acts. You know what I mean? It was just really cool to see.
You said you're a Dead fan too, right?
Yeah.
Random fact, only because I'm a big Sly Stone fan. For anybody who knows me, before Sly Stone was Sly and the Family Stone, he was somewhat of a producer. He produced Jefferson Airplane before they were Jefferson Airplane, and he also produced like one of the first demos that the Grateful did before they were the Grateful Dead.
Right.
So like I think it's cool to see all like the relationships that everyone has.
Right.
Well,
that goes way back to Woodstock too.
oh yeah,
Yes,
dude. Like,
yes.
have you ever been to any of the Woodstocks?
No. No, never been to one of those. No.
What's your biggest concert you've been to?
Biggest one, it would be a cross between the Dead or Floyd.
Yeah.
So that would be the two biggest ones. But
And those were
R40
stadiums?
though, R40, yeah, those were stadium shows.
R40 was a stadium.
R40 was in Columbus in the
Oh, that's an arena.
arena,
Yeah.
but it's a massive arena, and it was.
I just can imagine. Can you imagine burning one, listening to Pink Floyd like in that time period?
That'd be crazy.
Oh, dude, that has to be like one of like that's true nostalgia right there.
And I took my mom with me, which she's a total Catholic Christian, you know what I mean, but loves Pink Floyd. Then once we walked in, they were playing. It was going around the stadium before the show. Is that what's the name of that song about the furry animals that groove with the Pict?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about, with all the like squirrel noises and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's got all those wild sound
Yeah,
effects and
right.
everything.
But yeah, as we're walking through, my mom, she's like, "What are all these tents for? You know, what they're overdose tents." So there's people all sitting in there with their heads in their laps and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh.
It was just, and she's
Yeah.
just totally like
Oblivious to it.
oblivious to everything, and she's 4 seats over, and believe me, we partaked and we had a good time.
Hey man, dude, that's super duper. I've been down to see my mom do a concert. Like I almost took my mom to a Nickelback concert years ago.
Right.
I think live music again is one of those things that like it's just you're in a room full of strangers. No one knows each other, but yet you're all there for one purpose. You all want to hear
Exactly.
this artist, this band. So
Exactly.
that's got to be.
But like you guys were talking about Godsmack, I followed Shannon Larkin, the drummer,
Yeah.
for many years before he was even part of Godsmack. I was used to see him in like Froggies in Akron. You know, they fit, I don't know, 100 people in there. The band was Wrathchild America. So I followed Shannon through all them stages to his career. You know what I mean?
That's awesome to see
So
the
to,
evolution.
so to see these bands get to the point where they're at, when I saw them, like the point where you're at right now, or the point I was at when I was a drummer.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, everybody starts somewhere, and so like that's why like I think that's why I believe in supporting any band I can, because you don't, and it's not about like you don't know who's gonna blow up, but like you don't know who's gonna be like truly somebody and may give you the opportunity to share a stage or something like that. So,
Yeah.
I think it's amazing to see the growth in an artist. You know,
just like me, and personally, Bobby Ray.
Yeah.
I had the privilege to play drums for him for 5 years.
No, you know of Hubbard,
Bobby Ray Connell. Yeah. Now he's in Nashville.
Yeah.
But, born here, and
dude, he's one of the nicest dudes ever. So he's one of the young guys that when I was younger, first and foremost, one of the nicest dudes you could ever meet.
Right.
But again, it's guys like him that let it be known that like, hey man, I know you're young, but I want to show you the stage and give you time to like do your thing. And so it's because of guys like him, I'm able to do what I do now.
And I hope you guys get him on this here soon.
Oh,
so and I'm sure there's not going to be a problem with that because
dude.
Even if we
but like I said, I had the privilege.
Oh my God, no.
But like I said, I had the privilege to play drums for him for a good 5 years or so. We played a lot of shows together, and just an amazing musician and just a great person.
Dude, and that's what it's about, man. I feel like you know how they say, don't meet your heroes. There's some musicians I've met some badass musicians, but then off stage they kind of carry that rock star persona with them, and it's like, oh man, you don't realize that like you're also still human, just like the rest of us. So you meet guys like Bobby, it's just like, oh, you are aware of other people around you. You're aware that I exist. Like he's not too big for his britches. You know what I'm saying? So like guys like that, and that's what makes me so happy to see that like him doing big things. It doesn't surprise me.
Right.
He's a guy that's passing down the gauntlet. He's a guy that's doing super duper great things for him, not only himself, the music scene. Like he's always just a ray of sunshine.
What's his band now? It's 422 West. That's
Yes, sir.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's out in Nashville now, but he's sticking to the hometown roots.
Shout out to you, man, Bobby. We love you,
Bobby Ray.
Another super duper dope guy. Again, Dennis Drummond. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say from Warren, Ohio. He may be living in Nashville as of right now.
Dave Grohl.
Meeting him for the first time was super dope because there was always this, like, I don't want to say hype around him, but like this lore about him. And when I met him, he didn't have that demeanor about him whatsoever. He didn't come across like this hometown hero, nothing like that. He's just a guy that did his thing, and I think he's very proud of where it took him and where it brought him. Was talking to him, didn't feel like I was talking to this big shot. I felt like I was just talking to my neighbor, the mailman, as I'm talking to you guys.
Right.
So he's another dude that I feel like in a sense made it, but doesn't make that be his personality.
Right.
And that's where I feel like in a good musician, that's where longevity is. Yeah. If you get this record contract and think you're the hottest thing on the planet, buddy, there's several others who get record contracts. Right. So, there's still time to burn out, if you will. So, no, shout out to Bobby and everything that he's doing. And that's a super small world that you know him.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was his drummer for quite some time. So.
Oh, dude. Yep. What a full circle.
Yeah. Practice in my mom's basement. That's where we did all of our recording at.
That's a tribute I do at every one of my gigs with my band. I always say from my mom's basement to right here. Yes. You guys could have been anywhere, but you spent to choose with little old me. Yep. And that's just it. There's a lot of musicians that want to make it from A to Z, from your mom's basement to getting a Hollywood star. Right. There's a lot of things you got to do. A lot of we've got to crash a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? The process won't be perfect. There's people that don't put in that time, that passion to get stuff done. So. To have guys that really love what they do, that's what it's really about. Saying it's not about the money, but you can really tell when someone loves what they do.
Exactly.
When they're able to give that energy. Like, for me about Bobby, my favorite things, he's always smiling. Dude's always got the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah, no matter what.
And, that shows that he loves. I've seen him, perfect example. I've seen that man play to an empty room, but play his goddamn heart out.
Oh, yeah, every time.
There's some people that will play to an empty room and just be like, oh, this crowd is terrible, yada, yada. Again, the crowd don't owe you nothing. But again, when he's playing to huger crowds, you don't see a change in energy because he's going to give that love, and that's what it's all about.
That's it.
What was some of your first records?
My first record, my very first one, and it's funny, going back to my mom again, was Kiss Alive 2. This was my first vinyl. We're going back to my mom's like super Catholic and religious.
Yeah.
And I get Gene Simmons with blood running down and everything.
They call him the demon. What is this?
Right. And then then from there, of course, I had a lot of Beatles stuff because that's how I was raised. Not my mom, but my mom worked quite a bit, so we had a babysitter, and she was just into the Beatles 100%. So a lot of Beatles and everything in that era. You know what I mean? From Beatles, Guess Who, all the, Yes and bands like that. That's what I was growing up on.
Man. All right, I gotta ask you something, just because I know it's cliche as can be.
Yeah.
What did you get any music influences from your dad, or was there anything that he played around you that you're like, oh, gotta take this for myself?
Just about everything he showed me, I still listen to.
Nice.
Pink Floyd Animals, the Butthole Surfers, Alice in
I forgot about
Chains, the Beatles, the Bee Gees, Godsmack. Everything, just about everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I picked up on my own stuff too along the way.
Well, yeah, you're showing me stuff along the way
but
that I've.
Major influence for sure.
Because
I was singing
like
radio
new
video when
musicians
I
and
was
stuff
like
that, but
7
there's
years
just
old.
So many of them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he shows me. He'll text me, Dad, you gotta check this out. You gotta check this out. So
Me and my brother.
like me, even though I don't play music no more, but I'm 100%, behind music. Period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still my life. Put it that way.
Wait. Let me ask you this. Hypothetically speaking, if you were in a position to play drums, would you do it? Just for a song or two?
Oh, yeah, I have done it. I've done it in Florida where I live. Me and a friend down there. He's an amazing guitar player. He went to Berkeley. He just amazing. He's older. He's like 64 or whatever. But he found out I played, and he's called me up on the stage a couple times. So yes, I still play. But
oh snap, he still got it. Hey, amen.
Right now, I just don't have the time to form a band with my job and how that's working. So, but here, like me and him talked, I'm definitely going to have a set in the house real soon.
Hey, man, brother. Luckily for me, I'm
be an electric set. Or
you've been craving that for a while.
I'm going to be sending you some tracks for sure.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm all for it, man.
And then if you start getting big, you're coming down to Florida to play.
Oh, brother, absolutely.
I can set it up. So.
Oh, sweet. Well, luckily, if I get enough to make it to Florida.
If
I make it to Florida, trust and believe, I got a guy come with me interviewing everybody I cross paths with for sure. No, I think that's super duper dope that you guys are able to have like the not necessarily similar taste in music, but that you're able to show each other different generations of music.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that it's like, hey, this is the music I grew up with. For him, it's like, hey, this is the music I grew up with.
Right. And for him to appreciate all of it, it's just that I love it.
Ian is one
so
of the.
I did something right.
Yeah, you had me and Nathaniel singing "System of a Down" when I was like 5 years old. Yeah.
Amen, dude. That's where it's at, man. No, Ian's always had a cool taste in music, and I think what about Ian's taste in music? It's not just the mainstream. Marcus King, who I think now is more mainstream a bit, and not in a bad way.
No, he's still really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think him and I were just BSing at this sub shop that we worked at.
I was scared to death whenever I first met Kayvon or saw Kayvon.
Like, as soon as I met him, he's cooler now. I'm like,
I'm BS
yes.
can be for no reason, but I'm harmless. But we're BSing about music and artists, and like we're talking about like Kingfish, Marcus King, and at the time I think like those guys aren't much older than him and I, so like they're like the younger guys, new on the block.
Right.
King's old and younger than us, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, what are we doing with our lives?
I'm pretty sure he's young. Yeah, he's younger than us.
But to be a fan of like some of the younger guys on the scene, with him and I being roughly the same age, we're watching some of these guys grow up in their career. So that's how him and I got in touch. And we just always been like big music lovers.
Right.
And like, there's people that listen to music, and then there's like true music lovers, and that's him and I for sure.
Oh, that's me. I'm in that boat as a music lover.
No, it's awesome. It's like, some people are like, oh, I like this song by that artist. For me, it's like, what album do you like? That shows how much you really like an artist,
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite record or favorite couple of records, whether it's on vinyl, on tape?
I don't know. There's just so many of them. I mean, like an album or just like a song in general?
Just like an album. An album what's an album that you can put on that you can listen to from front to back?
I have to say like Rush, Caress of Steel, something like that.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just like, I'm going back old school. I mean, even some of the newer stuff. I don't know if you ever got into. You ever hear Government Mule?
Government Mule.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm trying to. Warren Hayes, brother.
Yes,
Come on now.
yes.
Where's my mule? Where's my 40 acres, baby? Come on now.
So that guy I can listen to nonstop. I mean, I can listen to him all day long. He's just phenomenal.
Hell yeah.
So so my spectrum just all it all depends on my mood.
Oh, for sure, dude.
So.
There's certain times when, like, at one point in time, like I said, I went through this big Sly Stone phase. Then I got to Ray Charles and stuff. But then, like, there's other times where, like, I'll be really big into, like, Blonde Faith, Cream, stuff like that. Like, the real, like, hippie era stuff. So, like, the fact that there's a genre or an album, or there's artists that can cover an album per mood you're in. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's how I base whatever album I want to listen to, or a station. Like if you're on Pandora, you know what I mean.
Real
Some
tough
days
question.
I'll be putting a Doobie Brothers station on. Next day it's Alice in Chains. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It just
hell yeah.
flip flops.
All right, tough question. Who's your favorite Beatle?
My favorite Beatle. I'm gonna have to stay. Well.
Who's your
Oh,
least favorite Beatle?
talk about politics here. Oh, it's getting tough.
No, least
Ringo. Why is it Ringo?
No, honestly, Ringo he's actually an intricate drummer. If you
That's
really-
so. Are you gonna say Ringo?
I'm gonna
So
say Ringo.
such a drummer response. Such a drummer response.
Have you ever
So it's George is the
really
least then.
listened to his
So there's
stuff?
so many
I mean,
people
he's-
that tribute so much to Ringo. The fact that, like, I guess, and it's something I never paid attention to, just because I've never been as focused on drums. Ringo's thing was always playing either like one slightly right on or one slightly before and or after,
Right.
and that's kind of what put him into like the distinct style of what he
Right,
does.
right.
Listen,
Yeah.
he is known to this day as the most expensive session drummer because like, people know that if you bring Ringo on, he's only
He's
get the
locked
job
in.
done. Oh
Right,
yeah.
right.
What about you? Who's your favorite Beatle? You better not say Ringo. You better not say Ringo.
No,
he's taken.
probably Paul McCartney, just because I listen to him the most often.
Same.
But I like George Harrison. He's probably my second.
I like George. I never got into George solo stuff, and it's not that I didn't want to.
I just like the one album with My Sweet Lord. I can listen to that one quite a bit.
Paul does, and not a lot of people know this, which I don't see why. This sounds kind of controversial. This was when Michael Jackson was still black. Paul McCartney does a song with Michael Jackson called "Say Say Say." It was like a pop song almost, and I was like, "Yo!" To hear Paul not in 3-part harmony playing this boyish rock, like it was really really cool. To me, I think Paul just had the most soul out of all of them.
Yeah.
I love John, I love Ringo, I love George, but something about Paul I just felt like was just this energy that was just like no
Right.
other.
Well, he
you know?
definitely knew music and the way it was heading.
Oh, for sure. The first time I heard Helter Skelter, I was like, oh, was this released like within this past 20 years? They're like, no, dude, this was like the 70s and 80s. I'm like, what? Helter Skelter was like the heaviest song I had heard. To me, that's one of those songs that like before heavy metal was like mainstream. Songs like Helter Skelter, Stone Cold Crazy by Queen, another heavy song that's not necessarily heavy metal, but stuff like that I think really, really like I dig big time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Shout out Ringo, you got a fan. I'm not saying you're not my favorite, but that's a first for me, man.
What's your favorite Beatles song?
Dude, I'm really, if I'm honest,
Mine
dude,
switches all the time.
it's between I Saw Her Standing There or Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. To me, the reason why I
Yeah.
like that song, that's another reason why I love Paul. Lyrically, it doesn't sound like Paul speaking. It was 20 years ago today. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da. The dude's like, he's kind of just talking jive. He's kind of just like spitting out lyric.
Yeah.
It's like a story, and then as soon as it picks up Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, it's just so busy and so like. That's when the psychedelics were like at its purest form, man. Because like their music, visually and audibly, were just like wild, So shout out to those cats.
Yeah.
I love the Beatles. The Beatles were one of my first like bands I got into that like got me into rock and roll. Then it was like the Stones, and then it got a little heavier with Aerosmith, and then Guns N' Roses, and then like Metallica. So like it slowly progressed, but like I think a decent portion of us can say like the Beatles were like the trademark rock band, And I'm not taking away from the Beach Boys. I'm not taking away from like the other bands around that period, like the Animals, the Zombies, stuff like that. But I think the Beatles were like the first. You think like rock and roll, Beatles are gonna be the first thing that you think about when it comes to stuff like that. So
Yeah.
shout out to those guys, and for them all having like successful careers outside of the Beatles, it really
Right.
shows how much they contributed to music as a collective and individuals.
Yeah, they were all very talented.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
like one of the original supergroups, probably.
Yeah, they were so badass that one of them challenged Eric
Yeah.
Clapton to a guitar battle. So that goes to show how kick ass they were.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to have experienced a lot of those other bands. So yeah, that's crazy.
What was I'll ask you first, then I'll go to you. What was the first song you memorized?
First song I memorized.
Yeah. Or just knew the words to.
I was pretty young, but I'd have to go back to Kiss and say Beth.
Ooh.
That's a
Random
good
fact.
one.
No one knows this. Beth was sang by singer at the time. Was Peter Criss the drummer at the time?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I always said that Kiss are the metal or the hard rock version of the Beatles because both bands have singing bass players, singing guitar players, and they only have one song where they let the drummer sing.
They always told me shut up too.
Oh yeah, man.
Bobby.
So
Play your drums, shut up.
No, I always said that the Beatles were like the metal. Kiss was the metal Beatles for that reason specifically because they had Beth. What song did Ringo sing? There's one specifically he wrote that he sang.
Octopus's Garden?
Yes, sir. So the fact that they both, the drummers always get put in the back line. So the fact that they have like that one nice hit, Beth is Kiss's one hit compared to the Beatles.
Right.
I think for me, probably Black Dog by Zeppelin. Something about that riff.
Ooh,
It's just so cool, man. There's a lot going on in that song. Zeppelin was one of the first bands I heard and was just like, what is this? Hearing a whole lot of love. Black Dog, Cashmere, I think before I got into guitar, I was just like, what are these sounds like? You can do this with 6 strings? This is crazy. Yeah. So, no, first it was definitely that. What about you?
The first one I remember knowing is 1985 by Bowling for Soup.
Okay. 19.
That's the first one I remember knowing. Then there was Lakeside Park by Rush. That was soon to follow.
You're welcome.
Favorite Rush song?
Him?
Yeah.
I like Voyage to Bangkok.
Okay.
It's a fun little tune.
Okay.
Passage.
It was a passage.
Yeah, Passage to Bangkok.
Passage to Bangkok. Okay.
See, he's a real Rush fan. He's seen it more than enough times. He would know. He's a Rush aficionado. What about yourself?
Me, my favorite is a little obscure. But if a Rush fan, you'll know it would be Natural Science.
Buddy, ooh, okay.
That's my favorite.
That's what I call a deep cut right there. That's one of the ones outside of the hits.
You're right.
I'm torn between two.
B-side, but yes.
Oh, for sure. But the thing is, that it's still a banger, nevertheless.
Yes.
I'm torn between two. One's very popular, and one's super unpopular. To me, I think Limelight has everything you need for a perfect rock song.
Limelight
It's heavy, it's melodic, and the solo to that. Listen, man, if you can be sober listening to that song, get a contact high from how just retro that solo is. And off the album 2112, Temple of Zeerings, to me, I think that's when Geddy Lee was at his prime vocally, and there was no one touching that range aside from the bass player Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple. He is a really cool variant, but dude, Temple of Zeerings, hands down, it's just it's driving, right. Super dope riff. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I love his bass.
Dude, this is a really, really cool feeling to be able to have not calling you old or vintage or nothing like that, but somebody from the time to really give us experience of what they got to experience in a time period that we didn't get to experience. While he gets to hear us complain about ticket sales, he's like, "Oh, dude, I want to tour with the Grateful Dead. I've seen Rush 27.5 times. That's awesome right there."
I remember paying $25 to see Rush. You know what I mean?
Dude, $25 I think we'll be paying taxes and fees for a ticket now.
That's why I haven't been to a concert in many years.
So, with all the live concerts you've seen or have been a part of, what was the most rowdy crowd?
Rowdy crowd would have to have been the Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been the most. I mean.
I never thought I'd hear from a 50-year-old. The Butthole Surfers was the rowdiest crowd.
The rowdiest crowd. I mean, he come out on stage. They're changing. Stone Temple Pilots opened up for him.
Oh, I love Stone Temple Pilots.
And so surfers are getting their gear all switched out. And all you see is just this long-haired, hippie-looking dude with an orange sun-kissed orange shirt on. Yeah. Points a shotgun up in the air, blast 5 times, said, "I do declare Cleveland a disaster area." Next thing you know, there's hands on your head. There's just bodies all over you. There's hands in your shoes. There's hands down your pants. There's hands up your. I mean, you're just getting touched everywhere, and that's everyone. It's just. I mean, it's. So I would say that's a little rowdy.
Yeah, that's a little.
That's
rowdy.
one way. That's one way to start a show.
But yeah, I mean.
How long did it take for him to come on after you blast them shells?
It was instant.
Oh, okay.
It was instant.
That's an intro, buddy.
Yeah. And at the time, I was with his mom, and my hair was down to my ass because that's when I was playing quite a bit of music.
All the cool kids were doing.
Yeah. Right. But by the time I told her to hang on to my belt loop and got her out of there, it looked like I just got out of the shower. I mean, I was just soaked and.
Man, I just
beer bottles flying. I mean, people are getting smacked in the head. There's blood everywhere. It's like that.
Is that what you expected going in there?
No, I've seen them prior to that, and I got real close to the stage, and like the first 3 rows were, I mean, you're getting bumped around, but
Nothing like that.
I never expected that.
we should make you a T-shirt. I survived a Butthole Surfers concert.
And it's funny, at the end of the concert, everybody is just, everyone's walking, and everyone's mooing. Everyone's going, "Mrrr." You know, with 5,000 people all going "Mrrr," like cows.
Buddy, that's
Walking out of the, I mean, it's just the most
Imagine
bizarre,
being the one guy.
most bizarre thing you'll ever see.
Imagine being the one guy in the crowd like on psychedelics. Like, what the hell is happening? Is everybody mooing? I would gas. I'm like, no, dude. I don't hear any moves
Did I miss
whatsoever.
something?
And that was coming out of the flats down in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's people in boats everywhere. So anybody around would be like, what the hell?
What the fuck?
Yeah, shit. So
All right,
that's the
gentlemen.
rowdiest one. How about you guys?
If I'm honest, it was in Pittsburgh. It was a Trespass America. It was Five Finger Death Punch, Kill Switch Engage. I mean, it was a bunch of these metal bands, super duper dope. Five Finger was headlining, and Pennsylvania, or at least at the venue we were at, they enforced curfew. They enforced the concert to be over by 11, and everyone off the streets by 11:30. But it's like you're on the strip downtown, so there's gonna be people in the streets. So about
Either way,
10:45 comes around, and the lead singer Five Fingers like, hey, they're talking about shutting us down, blah 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 blah. But we have 20 more songs we're doing, so no one have any worry. So they shut like the power offs at the stage at like 10:59, and he was like, well, guys, this is out of our hands. We're so sorry that we can't continue this show. And since we can't do our show, tear this place apart. And he throws the mic on the ground. And that's exactly what they did.
Hell
People
yeah.
are crying. Me and my buddy are just like in awe of just watching like people throw chairs. Like, I mean, people pay good money to see these guys, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's unfair
the
for
fact
the
that, like,
ticket
you
payers.
know, the rule of, oh, yeah, everyone's got to be shut down and blah, 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 blah. It was just like, well, what's fun in that? And I mean, the Five Finger, and I've seen them plenty of times because I assume that it's within their contract. The venues say, hey, we shut down at this time, we shut down at this time. And they're like, yeah, we're not doing that. And the venue, I guess, we're like, fuck you guys. So the Five Finger was just like, well, if we can't have a good time, no one's going to have a good time. What about you?
Mine surprisingly was Portugal the Band in Cleveland.
What?
It was unexpectedly rowdy. Just beforehand, there was this was 2016. There was a big anti-Trump protest going on in the street. There were a lot of people upset about that around. And I think that leaked into the concert. And before the show started, there was a huge "fuck Donald Trump" chant going on. It lasted maybe 10 minutes. It was crazy. And then when the show started, there was just a lot of pushing and shoving. It was really crazy for a chill psychedelic band.
Dude, the vibes are not vibing right now, and I don't like this. I'm calling my mom.
Yeah, it was bizarre. And they had a comedian opener, which I didn't mind, but that was also a little weird.
Dude, I've seen that too.
That was also
like,
at the House of Blues.
where like there's been weird openers at bands. I remember that the same show, the Five Finger show. Again, you got Kill Switch Engage, super heavy band. Trivium, super heavy band. God forbid, all these heavy bands, and there's this band called Pop Evil, who weren't a terrible band. I just don't think they were
I've
the
heard
band
of
on the
them.
bill. Good band, good rock band.
Yeah.
Mick Marsh from Motley Crue has a song with them. So they come out. I think where they fucked up is every band that came out with some like raw metal shit to say. First band's like, this song's about punching somebody in the cocksucker. There's just all this metal shit going on. And these guys come out. They're like the second band to go on. They're like, who here hates Justin Bieber? And the crowd just like, who the fuck are these guys? So like, I mean, granted, I like diversity in a bill, but I just felt like they were the one band that was just like, I think almost trying to impress the crowd, and the crowd were just like, buddy, we will eat you alive. Well, gentlemen, I hate to end this short, but I gotta get out of here. We gotta rehearse for our show at Wickoween at the Wick Yards, October 10th. There's gonna be a Black Sabbath tribute band, Sly and the Family Stone tribute band, Stone Temple Pilots, Rage Against the Machine, and Bob Dylan. $10 tickets. Come and see us. We'll have a food truck all at the Wick Yards in Youngstown, Ohio. Mwah.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Thank you, brother. Dude, we gotta have you on more shows. Oh man.